Mhm. Okay. Hi, how are you guys? I guess we're live here on the YouTube, and I don't really have any followers here, so I assume no one's going to see this. But, I've been doing it on Facebook because I know a lot more people that I know are on there, and I learned that it kind of pushes it into your notifications when I go live. But I thought, well, maybe this is a way that I could do it and maybe invite some guests. But so far, I have not figured that out. We're going to find out how it works. But I hope you're starting your day off right. I am doing okay. I'm trying to keep my attitude good. That's all we can really do, right? But I'm in Iowa. If you haven't seen this before, um, I am a Chiefs fan for a long time. And I'll also admit that I am recently a Taylor Swift fan. So sometimes I talk about them only because it's like a real life romantic comedy. Those are our two main characters. They're writing their own script, and we're just reading the headlines and articles and tweets and TikToks and YouTubes about them because it's enjoyable. But I also like shows like that. Um, I like it when it's a really cool guy, a really cool girl. Oh, and they're suddenly together. I want to see how that plays out. I like romance. But I also love the Chiefs. I am too old for all of the players, but there's a few handsome ones. But that is not why I watch. I just really like sports. I like figuring it out, what they're going to do next. I admire the strategy. I admire their mindset, the preparation it takes to do what they do. I think we can learn a lot from athletes just because they're so visible. Usually we get to see how their preparation to practice and determination and commitment leads to success. You don't always get to see that with a accountant who does like the best accounting of the year, even though they had to work really hard to get there and probably had to sacrifice a lot. It's a very underground type of a success, right? So with athletes, it's physical, there's strategy, teamwork, usually, depending on the sport. So I have a few athletes, particularly that I've been paying attention to lately. Of course, Caitlin Clark is a female basketball player for the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team. It's college, and she's quite a phenomenon. And she is so confident and sure of herself, and that's something I would love to have. Now, another one is Tom Brady. He recently officially retired. He was always with the New England Patriots NFL team. Then he transferred in the portal. No, he just chose to go to Tampa Bay to live in the sunshine, I guess. And if you've been paying attention to him now after retirement, he has a podcast, and it's like a half hour. Somebody else really hosts it. Can't remember his name, but then Tom is there, and he is very candid. He says exactly what he's thinking. And as the best quarterback of all time, the year right after his last season, the things on his mind are pretty amazing because he could still see the game. His comments on the game are amazing. He says it's so strange watching now instead of participating. And I would assume that's got to be a strange feeling. But he's also a very confident person. And he's written a book. He's been a guest on a lot of different podcasts or interview shows or magazine articles. I suggest you go look at them or find them. I'll try and share some stuff I find as well. But he just has really good quotes about what it takes to be a champion or what it just takes to be sure of yourself. And, keeping it simple, believing, visualizing. Those are usually the things I find in common with all these great athletes. A Patrick Mahomes, a Peyton Manning, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. There's a lot of great athletes out there. Serena Williams, another one of my all-time favorites. Tennis. But if you just, are trying to find some sort of optimism, some sort of path forward, why don't you start there? Good luck to my team today. They are playing the Baltimore Ravens. That is for the AFC Championship. This is how they decide who's going to be in the Super Bowl. And then the NFC is the other conference. So if you haven't followed before, there's two conferences in the football league, NFL, the national one. And so we'll find out who wins that one. It's between San Francisco and Detroit. And then the two winners will face each other. It could be the Chiefs. It could be the Ravens. I feel like it's an even match here. So I'm not calling it either way. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to win because I'm going to wear all of my Chiefs gear, hat. I've got a jersey. I have a sweatshirt, socks. I'm going to have to get it all out. And then I have this hat, another hat, and then a cap. So I'll switch them out. Like if we're doing bad, I'll put a different hat on. Perhaps it's this hat's fault. That's another really fun part of being a sports fan, believing you have some sort of control over the game in any way. It is the fun part, though, as far as I'm concerned. I don't take it very seriously. I mean, I'm being silly, but what if? I would hate that the coach is disappointed in me for not choosing the right wardrobe for that day. When he gets up there afterwards, I thought we had a shot there in the fourth quarter. But then I found out this lady up in Iowa thought it'd be cool to keep the same hat on through the whole game, even though we were struggling. At the end, what we needed her to do is change her hat to the lucky hat. Coach, I'd let you down. I'll watch the tape and I'll come back a better fan next week or next year. Oh, who's your favorite team? In the NFL, NBA, NCAA, tennis, soccer, wrestling. What else is there? European football. I suppose there's a lot of sports. I can't play. No, it's just one of my favorite reality shows out there. Sports. It's the original reality show because you have no idea how it's going to end, so you can't really look away. That's how a good true crime show is. A good Survivor, Big Brother. We got to stick in there. We got to know these people. Now, how are they going to do at the end? Well, I'm happy with this particular show, but I got to say, well, I can mute it at least. Now, can you hear me? Okay. But I was hoping maybe I could invite people to come on with me while I'm doing this. I know there is a way. I just take the very long way around to learn it. Sometimes I'll Google, sometimes I'll look at a help. Most of the time I'll just keep clicking and trying until it shows it to me. My brain works different and I'm okay with that. I'm still having fun, and this is pretty fun just to talk to you guys about sports in general. And I really think there is something to learn from them, whether you're in the game or not, or you've ever played. It's just watching preparation and practice and intent and teamwork, and then showing it happening in real time. And if any of that actually paid off. And so we're trying to do that every day in our own lives, right? Trying to read all these self-help books or go work out, go to church, have a club we're part of, go on vacation, see your family, whatever these things are that we do, little hobbies, just to get ourselves to be a better person or more of who we want to be. And for me, I just kind of get a lot of lessons from the sports world. I get it from a lot of romantic comedies and dramas as well, and just pure comedy and pure drama. But I do like movies and TV, and I think we can talk about that stuff too. But today's a big day for Chiefs fans. Now, as far as San Francisco and Detroit, we like San Francisco because their quarterback is from Iowa State University. It's another school where I live. And then their tight end is George Kittle, who did play for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and he's very good. So we like him. We like them okay. We've played them before in the Super Bowl. We being the Chiefs. But then there's the Detroit Lions. It's pretty amazing that they're there. Their quarterback has something to do with that, Jared Goff. But he is a pretty good quarterback. I know they've never been there before to the Super Bowl. And that team is just one of those that kind of like the Chiefs. You know, I don't hate them. How can you hate the Lions? I don't know. I feel like you can't. I don't. I wish them the best. In fact, I am cheering probably for them today. And I think there's maybe one or two Hawkeyes on that team too. I've got to look into their lineup there. But I think it'd be cool if the Chiefs and the Lions played each other in the Super Bowl, because that'd be two mid-section of the country teams. We've got Baltimore over on this side or that side of the nation, San Francisco on the other coast, and then right in the middle, Kansas City and Detroit. You don't get much more Midwest than Detroit and Kansas City. So I think that part would be cool. But we'll see. I do not gamble. I have no money on this. I am not giving any advice on how you should spend your money with it. I do not recommend gambling, because I figure I like to spend my money on real things and not just hand it to somebody. But yeah, I just am hoping. And I am not one of those fans tomorrow who's going to be very angry if my team doesn't win. I'm not going to talk a lot of bad stuff about my team. I really don't like that. I understand it's part of it, and some people think like them being mad at their team is somehow helping it or covering their tracks that look like a fool for rooting for a bad team. I don't know. There's something very weird about how we're connected to the teams we cheer for, and if they're not good or good, just stick with your team is what I always say, because I've been a Chiefs fan since 1993 myself. 90, 91 maybe 89. They went to Arrowhead at 89. That's probably when I was really paying attention. But then Joe Montana got on the team, and you pay attention when Joe Montana is your quarterback. And then since then, no, nothing. Oh, who is Patrick Mahomes? Oh, we're in the AFC Championship game every year now. We're spoiled now, but we went a long time before we got there. So just stick with your team, because when they have success, you were there the whole time. And don't take it personal. Don't let it be a negative part of your life. Oh, I don't even understand that. We have so much stress in our lives. Did we pay our bills? Did we do a good job at our parenting, at our jobs, in the community, with our friends and our family? A lot of stresses. Is your house clean enough? Are you achievable as you want? Did you remember to mail that thing? I don't know. There's just so many darn things that we have to stress about every day. A team that is playing a game should not be something that you are in a bad mood for the next day, or like going online and typing all these horrible things. Because I do, when I read those, I almost always go to that person's profile page, their real page, so you can see what you can about them. And they look like they really could use some sort of other distraction in life. They're a little too serious. They take themselves a little too seriously. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. That probably isn't a fair assessment. That's not all of them. Sometimes, though. And sometimes it's just, that's what we're taught to do. Treat it as though we're part of the game. And if we're really angry, well, we can't let our team play like this. Why can't we just get a good quarterback? Why can't we? There's no we. You aren't part of the team. You're a fan. I'm a fan of the Chiefs. I do not make any decisions on who they get in on the team, how they pay them, their facilities. I have nothing to do with it. The most I would have is if I actually lived in Kansas City and some of my tax dollars went to it. That's as close as it gets for most of us. So please take it. I mean, I've lost friends because I have this opinion. Some people love to be angry about their team being bad or losing that game. Like, they feed off of it. And when I call them out on it, I am the bad guy every time. Unfriend. I have been unfriended by some very thin-skinned people over the years. And just because their team lost, and I said, hey, relax, you couldn't help if they won or lost anyway. Just shut up. And then they unfriend me. That's gotten easier. Over the years, that used to be really hard when you would unfriend me if I called you out. I might be wrong. I mean, let's always at least understand that part. I'm just going to say it anyway, and I might be wrong. And yes, I do see the irony there. I might be wrong about you guys taking it too seriously. I might be wrong that you need to let go. Maybe. At least I can admit that. I wish that you guys could at least step back for a second and go, she might have a point. A lot of people don't like to do that, though. They don't like to show any weakness whatsoever. Human beings, we're crazy. We don't play the game, but we really live for it. And the other thing I always like to point out when I'm so excited for a football game or you hear the viewership's up or etc., I am old and I've seen how many times we have boycotted the NFL, boycotted sports because of the players being certain kinds of people or have certain kinds of opinions or doing certain things, etc. I mean, aren't we supposed to not watch the NFL now? At least half of the country should it be, the half that votes for another candidate than I do. I know, don't get into politics, but come on. If in any way you ever let a politician shape your view of sports, then I think you're really kind of taking politics into it. I mean, I heard a president of the United States basically call the NFL a piece of crap. And everyone said, I agree, I'm not going to watch anymore. I think they're still watching. I see you. Well, what do I know, though? Don't take me too seriously, okay? One of these days, I'm going to know the answer, though, so watch out. And I will maybe be right one of these times. It might not be this time, I know. That's okay. I can handle it if I'm wrong. Sometimes. I hope you have a great day. Go Chiefs. Go Lions. And if it's Baltimore versus San Francisco in the Super Bowl, don't worry. I'm going to be fine. Have a great day.